All right. That's it. We're doing it. We're live. Um, Post game reaction. Texans versus the Saints. Last preseason game of the year. I honestly was kind of on here trying to find some other post game reaction from my guy Landry Locker, maybe from my guy Cody Stutes. Um, did a weird in game kind of a reaction show with Texans rumors. Um, Jeremy Chugs, you're great, man, but it was weird. It was that show was weird. I don't know. It just didn't. I don't. There was just not a whole lot of like actual football knowledge going into it. It was a lot of just people going, "Let's go Texans," and just commenting and throwing him a bunch of money. It kind of just makes me want to like get on YouTube and just get a bunch of people to throw me 20 and $50 here and there. Um, Actual post game reaction. Uh, I was very, very impressed by the way that CJ Stroud came out. Um, we didn't get to see a whole lot of him. I think he went two for 4 and a touchdown for like 16 yards. The offensive stats in this game were awful, terrible. Um, I mean, there was just nothing to really hang your hat on as far as really even the first half went. Um, I was, however, impressed with the way that CJ Stroud looked, and I said the same thing the last game against the Miami Dolphins. Um, I I just felt like the overall tone of the offense is a weird thing. Like when you're watching football, and some football fans will get this, some won't, and that's fine. Maybe I'm just a bumbling moron, but some football fans will understand what I say when I say when CJ Stroud stepped under center and the ball was in his hands, the game felt so much more in control on the offensive side than it did versus Davis Mills. When it was Davis Mills under center, it was just a I don't know who the hell knows what's going to go on, because Davis Mills has a damn good arm, and I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to dispute that point. He has a very good arm. He also has. I'm going to plug my computer in real quick. He also has a very good knowledge, and he has a good quarterback mind for the game. So I'm not going to argue any of that. Uh, Davis Mills is a very smart quarterback. Um, it just seemed like when CJ Stroud was under center, I just had, as a Texans fan, and maybe it's just simply that we've just seen enough of Davis Mills and we know what he is. Maybe it's some of that. I don't know. But when CJ Stroud was under center and the offense was being run under that first team reps period, I had so much more faith in them. It just, and you should, because it's your first team. But it just gives you a different feeling. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to put it into words. CJ Stroud is going to be the number one quarterback. Davis Mills is not. So all of you Davis Mills haters out there, just shut up. It's ridiculous at this point. We've seen a season and a half if not almost 2 seasons of Davis Mills, and it has amounted to absolutely nothing. So we're done with it. Even if CJ Stroud does absolutely nothing, Davis Mills is not going to do any better, is basically the point I'm at. I saw a lot of good things from the defense. I did see a lot better tackling. There were several plays where I was just like, oh, they're on the ball. There was a couple of second and 4, 2nd and 6, a couple of third down plays where the linebackers and the cornerbacks were up on the ball. This is a live post game reaction, so I haven't really had time to completely dissect the entire film, but I will say that CJ Stroud looked 10 times better than he did in the first preseason game. And he got less reps than the last preseason game, but he was also behind what's going to probably be his starting offensive line. So take that as you will. I thought the play calling went a little bit better. Bobby Slowick seems to be kind of throwing a little bit more of what he's actually going to run in the actual season out there. They ran Dameon Pierce. There's a couple plays that CJ Stroud drive where they went, down the field and marched in for a touchdown. Dameon Pierce had a couple of really great runs. And I feel like that's Bobby Slowick just being like, all right, look, we know who our bell cow is. We know who's going to run the ball. We know what it's going to take to get a first down. And that 1st and 10 run where Dameon Pierce just ran up the gut and got, I think it was like 11 yards and just got you a first down right off the bat, was just like, yes. That's what Dameon Pierce is designed to do. That's what he's going to do throughout the season. That's what we expect him to do. And that's what's going to happen. I don't have a whole lot of confidence in the play calling so far, especially defensively, because they still, in this New Orleans Saints game, they still gave up giant chunk plays for no reason, like just out of nowhere. Like 3rd down, they got off the field a lot better on 3rd down than they did against the Dolphins. They did figure that out a little bit, but there were no starters on the New Orleans Saints. You guys were playing against 2nd and 3rd string guys that are trying to make the roster, and you still struggled against an NFL team that has nothing to really gain out of winning this game. The Texans got the win. It's great. 2-1. I'm honestly, I honestly would be more thrilled if they would have just lost this game, because it's preseason and this is the time to really kind of like figure that stuff out, play calling wise and scheme fit wise. I mean, what are we doing in the tight situations? I didn't feel like there was a whole lot of that. It was a lot of kind of back and forth of, the special teams would make a big play and then they would kind of march the ball down the field a little bit. And then it was like 3 and out, and there was punt, and there was 3 and out, and there was punt. It was back and forth for a little bit. CJ led them down the field in the beginning of the game to kind of cement his welcome to the NFL moment of throwing his first NFL touchdown in preseason. It doesn't count for anything, but it's good to get that under his belt. At least he has that. Saw a little graphic on NFL Network earlier where they were comparing the quarterbacks, Bryce, CJ, and Anthony Richardson. They're gonna this little train and just comparison is going to continue probably until CJ is, I don't know, retired. They will always be compared against one another. Bryce, CJ, and Anthony are always going to be compared against one another. It's not going to stop. It's going to continue all throughout their career. Bryce threw a touchdown in his last preseason game earlier this week. CJ got his. Anthony still has not thrown a touchdown, nor has he ran for a touchdown. So, I mean, it's something encouraging to see. The touchdown pass he threw to Nico Collins it almost looked like a giveaway. Like, it almost looked like the defense was just like, I want to be excited about it, but it just looked like one of those situations where it was just like, give it to the kid. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I don't know. It wasn't exciting for me. It wasn't like it was exciting, but it wasn't like a playmaking moment. He just kind of sat back in the pocket and literally just kind of held the ball. If you watch that clip for long enough, he just kind of held the ball in his right hand and was just like, oh, and he goes there. Like, it was almost like it was timed out. I don't know. Maybe you guys read more into that. I didn't get that sense of we're there. We're not there. It's a long road ahead. I'm more concerned. I'm not even concerned about the offense at this point, honestly. I think Bobby Slowick's going to figure a lot of things out. I don't think Bobby Slowick's even really opened his playbook up yet in the preseason. This is weird to say, but I'm more concerned about the defense. I mean, the game against the Dolphins was just eye-opening. What are we doing? We can't get off the field on third down. What are we doing? And then you come into this New Orleans Saints game that they probably should have just stomped the shit out of them because the Saints weren't playing anybody. They weren't playing any of their starters. And you barely eke out a win. I mean, I'm not trying to read in too much into the preseason because I hate doing that. I hate the preseason. I hate it. I wish it would just go away. Maybe like an exhibition game and then just start the season. I don't like it. I think it's a waste of resources. I think a lot of guys get hurt that shouldn't be hurt when it's not a meaningful game. And I think that's a lot of the reason that the NFL went to – I mean, it is a lot of the reason that the NFL went to from a 4-game preseason to a 3-game preseason. It just doesn't – like – a lot of the other professional sports, the MLB has spring league, spring games. The NBA has, preseason, which is like 10 to 15 games or whatever. But the NFL just doesn't need that because these guys aren't doing the same thing that MLB and NBA players are. They're knocking their heads against each other. They're getting grappled up in awkward positions, and they're breaking bones, and they're stretching ligaments and hamstrings and all kinds of different crazy stuff that happens throughout the season. They're doing all those. They're making all those injuries before anything even matters. That's what's so I can't imagine what it's like to be in the mindset of an NFL player going out there and going, This means absolutely nothing other than to get my rookie. And that's the only thing I could say about the Texans marching their starters out there is, yeah, they're giving CJ Stroud a chance to see what it's like to be behind all of the starters. But other than that, I mean, you look at all these other teams. I mean, like I said, the Saints didn't even start. They didn't start Derek Carr. They didn't start a lot of their offensive players. Why should they? What do you have to gain out of winning preseason game 3? But that's also what concerns me is we marched a lot of our starters out there versus their second and third string, and we won 17-13. Really? We should have beaten the shit out of them. If you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, if we're gonna take that stance and be like, oh no, we're gonna march our starters out there week 3. You guys aren't? Okay, that's cool. We should beat the flying fuck out of you. We should win this like 50-13. It shouldn't be a 17-13 game. That's what frustrates me so much. Like, what was it worth? Did you get a whole lot out of that? I mean, we'll look at the first quarter. We'll look at the first series. You got to see a little bit of CJ Stroud. And then he throws a touchdown pass to Nico Collins, and he's out of the game. So then what are we really looking at? Got to see a little bit of Tank Dell. I don't even know if he actually solidified a catch in the game. I don't know. Maybe this is me just not looking enough into what exactly happened, but I'm not on board with 17-13 versus their second and third string after you just got your ass kicked 28-3. But I will say, I do like the fact that the Texans are in a position right now where, yes, yeah, 30 seconds, where they the Texans are in a position right now where they are just kind of a let's put the rookies out there and see what they can do type of position. And the Saints just kind of are like, yeah, we've already pretty much solidified what we have. We don't necessarily need to put anything out there. So I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. I'm really interested to see. I'm putting this is just me doing something raw after the game. I'm really interested to see what my guy Landry Locker has to say post game, just about the game and what he saw, what was productive, what you could even amount to this game. Probably not much. I mean, like I said, it was a game in which the Saints didn't play any of their starters. And CJ Stroud just kind of had a little. I wish that touchdown throw would have looked like so much more like something, but it just looked like he was just like, oh, this is just kind of a play that was called for me that I'm just going to go touchdown. It didn't look good. Maybe I'm being a dick. Maybe I'm being too critical. You tell me. I don't know. That just did not look like a play that excites you. It didn't. It just looked like the Saints defense was just like, he's a rookie quarterback. let's let him get his first. Let's let him get his first passing touchdown. You guys ease up. You guys just ease up on this one a little bit. Let Nico Collins get open. Yeah, it looked like that, and I'm not saying it was, but that's the way. Taking it from a viewer's perspective, and that's a lot of what I'm trying to do, is just taking it from a fan's perspective, looking at this. It looked like the New Orleans Saints defense gave zero fucks about whether or not Nico Collins was running across the end zone and caught that ball. That's what it looked like. You can tell me otherwise. I'm down for arguments. I'm down for criticism. I'm down for all of it. But it just didn't. There's a lot of you Texans fans out there. I know you're feeling it right now, and don't tell me I'm wrong. You just didn't feel it here. Like, there's certain plays, you just feel it here. That was just kind of he got a touchdown. And they won the game. And it's preseason. I don't know. I speak for everybody. I'm ready for Baltimore. I'm ready for the regular season to actually start. I'm so sick of, and I'm sure Landry is going to go into this. Landry Locker, I love you, buddy. Listen to your channel all the time. I'm excited to see what you actually have to say about all this. I don't think that any of this game is even relative to the regular season. I think a lot of it was just trying to figure out, maybe there's a couple here and there's that'll make the roster. And I'll poke at that later on during the week because I have nothing better to do. But honestly, that game was just kind of like we won. You know, it wasn't CJ Stroud didn't do anything prolific. Dameon Pierce didn't. He had that one big run. He had one big run. I will say Dameon Pierce had that 11-yard run. That was nice. He also tried to bulldoze a guy in the process, and just worries the shit out of me because it's like, dude, what if you break your fucking neck trying to, I don't know. That guy runs with reckless abandon. Like, he has zero fucks given for who is in front of him. And it also worries the fuck out of me because if he goes down, then we got Devin Singletary, who, he was the lead running back for the Buffalo Bills last year. So, it's not like last year where we just had nobody. We have somebody, but it's also, in my opinion, Devin Singletary is more of a complimentary back. But Dameon Pierce, that guy just zero fucks given. I'm just going to run over you. I'm just going to bulldoze you. So, something to look into. I'm going to wrap this up. Raw reaction. No stats in front of me. Just speak in my mind after the game. Offensive line looked better on the starting side. That was my biggest concern going in, but the New Orleans Saints didn't play any of their starters, so what are we really looking at? And that's going to wrap it up. Thank you, guys. If you caught this, thank you. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Trying to get to double-digit subscribers. That would be amazing. And I'm also gonna check my boy Landry out later on just to see what he had to say about it. Thank you guys if you had listened. You got any grain of knowledge out of this. Appreciate it.